Aloha, welcome to the Live Ukulele Podcast. My name is Brad Bordessa, and in this episode, I'm talking to Dizzi Diamond, who's here on Hawaii Island, playing music and jamming on a 8-string baritone ukulele, which is pretty unique. Great conversation. Hope you enjoy. And it's kind of long. We just kept chatting, and the content kept being interesting and good, and I think you'll find that it is kind of just with Dizzi's presence, it's sort of a warm hug of an interview with lots of good vibes in there. Next week, Wednesday, September 10th, I am scheduled to play at the Slack Key Show. I'm looking forward to that because I will be sharing the bill with Uncle Kevin Brown, which is a super treat. And of course, Shem Kahawaii is the host over there. Looking forward to the opportunity to bring some music to a big stage and share some songs that I've had in the hopper. If you're on the island of Maui next week, please come check us out. Come say hi. You can learn more if you go to slackkeyshow.com. It'll take you right there, and you can scoop up some tickets and come listen to some slack key guitar, not played by me, and some ukulele, played by me. First, though, we got to get through Hurricane Kiko and see where that ends up. It's looking like it's tracking well north of Hawaii, and hopefully it brings a lot of much-needed rain without the winds that are going to tear the trees down and be problematic. But it's looking like it is weakening and going north, but it's going to be just have gone by as my flight is supposed to go out on Wednesday morning. So that might be interesting. But yeah, slackkeyshow.com. That's going to be next Wednesday, September 10th. As far as in-house stuff goes, I'm still... I made my first baritone tab ever. I sent out a newsletter the other day with this, but Pandanus by the Peter Moon Band is a beautiful and amazing Hawaiian instrumental song that I've figured out how to play years and years ago, 15 years ago probably, and have played on and off over the years ever since. And the tab that I made was in Power Tab. So I've been kind of going through and like refreshing and updating and bringing some of those older tabs into Guitar Pro because it's pretty straightforward and easy to make the transfer. Nice opportunity to touch up any boogers in the transcription, things that I didn't notice at the time when I was making the tab. So this one got a nice polish. It looks a lot nicer because it's in a Guitar Pro layout. And while I was at it, I transposed it to be a baritone tab as well because, and I think it works really well for this song specifically because Peter Moon played Pandanus on a guitar. So by playing baritone, you're kind of in the same range and getting access to some of the same shapes and licks that he would have played shape-wise on the recording. So that's interesting. If you're a baritone player, go check that out. You can find that on the main website. I have not compared the numbers to see what the downloads are like, see if people are jumping in on that. But I'm gonna try, because it's not super difficult, try and start bringing baritone materials to the world because, you know, theoretically you're just changing some note names and moving some things around in a transcription. So it's fairly easy. It's just a matter of making that happen. Because somebody pointed this out the other day in a comment on YouTube that if providing materials is bad, you know, sometimes my angle is that we miss out on learning opportunities by using transcriptions. And a lot of people lean on solely transcriptions. They're stuck to the page. And that's the only way some people know how to interact with music. And that's fine. There's a lot of enjoyment there. But for me, as a more play-by-ear jam style player in Hawaii, where that style is more prevalent, I see the downsides of the transcriptions. And in this comment, the person pointed out that, well, if transcriptions are a downside and a negative effect and hinder the student in learning, their argument was we shouldn't be making transcriptions or material for standard GCEA ukulele either. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So we might as well make it for DGBE baritone as well, so folks have that available to them. You know, I talk about a lot of this stuff, and I make the podcast, and I make YouTube videos, and I talk about things that I'm thinking about. It's not necessarily that I feel strongly about some of these things. I mean, there are things like timing and, you know, accessibility and other aspects of playing ukulele that I very strongly feel are important, and I have my approaches to teaching them and sharing them, and those things are important to me. But other things, I'm kind of on the fence and still figuring it out. And by saying it out loud, it's a way for me to think it through, engage with people. Oh, what did you think about this? Like, oh, I don't agree or whatever. And that's why this baritone ukulele kind of learning philosophy video that is on YouTube, it's been getting steady engagement, and there's been comments that have kind of lubricated my brain to think about these things in a little bit different way. So, decided to jump on the baritone material train, at least for now, just kind of feel it out and see what the interest is, because the baritone folks are a loud group, and I have yet to discover whether it's loud because it's a large group or if it's just kind of a squeaky wheel thing and there's actually not that many. I'm not sure, because in my day-to-day, I don't see a lot of baritone players, so I don't have a very good pulse on that. But it's easy enough to find out by creating some materials and see what the split is interest-wise, see if it remains, you know, worthwhile to create that material. So if you are a baritone player, jump in, download that tab so that I can see the numbers and get a sense of how many of you there are out there. I'm still working through the step-by-step ebook, expanding that. Going to be adding a couple new songs, and I have, because I can't find my source template files anywhere for my original tablatures that I made for that, I'm redoing all the tablatures, so it's all kind of revisited, added. I added like the Hawaiian lyric verse for happy birthday, that kind of thing, just expanding and polishing and bringing everything up to date. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm thinking that I might jump in and make a baritone version of that one, because while I'm there, you know, I'll have to take some more pictures and stuff to show baritone, you know, body positioning and how to hold and some of the different instructional photos. But I think it's worthwhile. I'm willing to put in that work and just see what the interest is, see where we end up. All right, but Dizzi Diamond is somebody that I met a number of months ago at the Honoka'a Western Week Block Party Talent Show. She was performing with her trio, and I was super impressed. Busy street. I was running backstage, helping get people on and off of their performance slot. So I didn't get to hear sonically very well what was going on, but I could tell, like, this is cool. This is original. This is really different. I haven't seen anybody play ukulele like this and put it together in a package like this very much. So I was inspired and sat down. I was like, hey, can I have your number? I'd love to talk to you on the podcast. And so we've been in touch. We sat down at the Waimea Nature Park a number of months ago and had the lovely discussion that you are about to hear. There's a number of original songs in there that are quite different from what you normally hear on ukulele, and a lot of great insight and a lot of kind of heartwarming sharing about music. I really enjoyed it and appreciated getting to know Dizzi, and I was planning on going up because I've never seen a full Dizzi Diamond show, and I was planning on going up, I think, last Thursday to catch her at Gill's. But then I got sick on Wednesday, and I was just like, the Thursday after, was like, I don't want to push it. So I missed it, and I was super bummed about that. But definitely an artist to keep an eye on here on Hawaii Island. You can find Dizzi on YouTube at Dizzi Diamond, or just search Dizzi Diamond, Dizzi. And you should be able to find her stuff. Give a like, give a subscribe, and check out that virtual business card that is there in the bio profile section. Go check it out. Super duper cool person. Please enjoy. This is Dizzi Diamond. But yeah, could we start with like how you came to be here and playing ukulele?
How I came to be here in Hawaii?
Yeah.
So what happened was, I never know quite how to answer that question. The shortest, easiest, funniest answer is that my partner at the time, I got here about 6 years ago, my partner at the time and I had recently won an all-expense-paid trip to Hawaii that turned out not to be real. It was a scam. And so the way my brain works is, I'll show you. I don't even need you. So we saved up a little bit of money every month for a year, moved out, did work trade until we got on our feet, and the rest is history. But the longer answer is, a big part of why I came out was to find a luthier apprenticeship.
Wow.
Cool. Oh, you know what those words
mean?
Usually when I say those words to people, I gotta be like, do you know what that means? So I just don't feel like I've found the right person, and now my attention's on all these other things, music and otherwise. And I feel like that was kind of just like God's pull for me to get out here. And if it happens, cool. But I'm not as attached to the idea as I originally was, especially because I have met a few people, but like when it comes to music, you can't really fake it, you know, in any capacity. And that to me also applies to making instruments, you know. It's all the same thing for me. And so I don't feel like I've found like the right connection for the apprenticeship I'm looking for, you know. Traditionally, to become a luthier, you would have found an apprenticeship. In the past, I'd say like 20-ish years, give or take. I don't know. It's become more popular to like attend a school for it, where you're like paying a tuition. But I'm looking to like, I was looking to like sweep up somebody's sawdust for a year before they let me build a bridge or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, like the most promising one I found, cool dude. Love him. I see him around sometimes. I'm hesitant to say hello though. But the most promising one I found, he was asking for $1,000, and it's not that I couldn't get that together, but that's just not like what I had like in my vision for an apprenticeship. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, that's the long story of how I ended up out here.
That's awesome. So how did you get to the ukulele? Are you from New York? You got the Yankees hat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born and raised in New York. I've been moving and traveling since I was 17. I have a music degree from some school in South Carolina you've never heard of. And I never played any accompanying instrument, really. I had to take 6 piano classes. So if you put a piece of piano music in front of me, give me a few hours, I can stumble. I can stumble through it. Don't make it hard, but I can stumble. But yeah, I just knew people with guitars, and I would take them and mess around with them. I had somebody show me, I remember the first 4 chords I learned were C, D, E, E minor. And I wrote a song with those 4 chords, like immediately, like the same night I learned those 4 chords. And I don't remember that song all the way through. In my head, if a song's not good enough to remember, then it probably, for me personally, other people can write stuff, I don't have a problem with any, you know. But for me, if it's not good enough to remember, then it probably wasn't good enough. Because if you ask my big brother, he'll always tell you, she heard the song like once or twice, and then she knew all the words. Like, your favorite songs, you know all the words to them, you know? So like all the songs that I have memorized, even the ones from when I was like in 5th grade, I still have it memorized. Yeah. So I don't remember that song. And then I ended up on ukulele because, don't tell anybody, this isn't a podcast, it's a secret. I ended up on baritone ukulele because it's the bottom 4 strings of a guitar. It's just easier to play than a guitar. And because I never really wanted to be somebody that played for myself. I tried to start a band in college. I actually have that video dropping today, I think. I've got a YouTube channel, Dizzi Diamond 1212. That's Dizzy with an I at the end, Dizzi Diamond 1212. I have a video dropping of my band from college that I tried to start, and the only reason it didn't pan out is because the guitarist, she was also a pianist and a harpist and a few other things, and her wrists were jacked, and she had she was maybe 19, and she had a terrible medical situation with her wrists and also otherwise, actually. I think she got some rare tick disease, not Lyme disease. So that's the only reason it didn't pan out. But if you go check out that video, you'll be like, wow, they had potential. But, moving on from there, I did music on and off in different ways. And then I wanted to start playing out, and I couldn't find, you can't rely on anybody. I love music and I love musicians, but if I had to pick a single profession in which the flakiest people exist, that's why I knew I was gonna be 5 minutes late. I was like, let me text him so he don't think I'm not coming. Yeah, so you can't depend on anybody. So I had to learn to play for myself. My band I had a 4-piece band, and it just dwindled down to 2. And the other half of the band, so now it's the Dizzi Diamond duo, is my best friend. I've known her since 13. Her name is Diana Taveras, but I call her Nana. Nobody else. Actually, a lot of other people do, because unfortunately when I introduce her, sometimes I'm like, this is Nana. And then, but yeah, that's my day one. We met in 9th grade science class, and I'm about to go buy a mic so we can work on, because expanding the sound, because we had a fuller sound a month or 2 ago today, and so we're gonna get her on harmonies and percussing. So she plays the cajon in the band, and doing percussion and singing at the same time is a task, and but she's been getting better at it, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited. There's so much going on. Yeah, sorry, I'll be chatting.
No, that's great. That's great. The whole point is to get to know you and see where you're at and learn what we can from your experience. That's the whole point of the podcast. Just talk story with people about music. Yeah, it's prevented me from, since I've prioritized it as much as I started to when I started to build my repertoire to start gigging specifically, it's prevented me from pockets of sadness that I know would have existed otherwise, which makes sense. Surprise, surprise, music saves people. But very specifically, when I injured my knee back in October, I just started to feel kind of useless and not like myself. And I still feel that way to a smaller extent, but a lot of the pain has gone away, and I'm a lot more mobile than I was. And then, recently with this band dwindle drama, that's another pocket. Oh, and that happened at the same time as a breakup. And so that's another pocket in which I would have probably been a bit more of a recluse, but I had gigs lined up. When my friends who are musicians tell me they have something, I think most recently it was Nina Marie Bell and Rachel Scott. They were like, oh, I got this thing. Say less, I'm there. I can't be out here expecting people to support me if I don't support them, 1. And 2, it's easy to support somebody when they have a beautiful spirit and their music is only going to put beauty into the world. You feel me? It's easy. That makes it easy. It's of course, music is one of the only good things that are readily available, it feels sometimes, there's a lot going on. Music saves people, as I said, so. You want to share a song?
Sure.
I got to hear like a little tiny cross section of what you do at the Western Week thing, and I've kind of checked out your videos and kept an eye on
OMG.
what you're up to. But I would love to hear something in person. That's always better.
What kind of mood you feel in, or what kind of stuff you want to know about me? Give me some.
What is making you excited about music right now? Because you have an 8-string baritone.
I do, yeah.
I didn't
so
even
it
know
helps,
they made those.
It helps give it a much fuller sound. Because 2 of them are octave and 2 of them are unison. So it really, people will just constantly, is that a really small guitar? And then depending on how, like, it takes a bit as far as like, my pickup's not great. It wasn't put in wonderfully, and I don't think it's the dude's fault so much as like the way that this instrument is built. It's hard to like get in there. But the pickup's not great, and so like certain chords work better. And it's unfortunate because when I have a chord, I don't have sound on the side either, right? So like if I have as simple as just like a chord that doesn't work great with my pickup, or a sound system that can't go louder, then what the difference is, it doesn't make me sound like, oh, she's just not loud enough. What it makes me sound like is a total amateur. And it's really, really unfortunate. And it makes me sad for like a whole week anytime that happens. It happens very rarely. It happened recently for the first time. I want to say like the first time on this island in like a year. It happened when I went to Oahu a little bit, but that was chill because then somebody else hopped on and just was like, tell me a song, I'll play the chords for you because we can't get your instrument to sound good. And then we did Love on the Brain on the fly. And he didn't really know what was going on. He didn't know the song like that, but it was amazing. That's also on my YouTube channel. Just throwing that out there. All right, so what's what's exciting me? You know what? I'm gonna do the song about, I have a song that's kind of about songwriting. And I did it at in one of the like songwriting workshops at the songwriting festival. I haven't edited it since because like I have some edits to make from that workshop. I haven't done those yet, but I'm excited to share it with you and then tell you what the guy who was running that mentorship said. Have you ever been to the festival?
Yeah.
Did you go this time?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's been 5 years, but I felt like I got so much homework to do, and then I haven't followed through on any of it. So it's like, I don't know if I need to go back yet. I'm still working on stuff.
I hear you. Let me turn off my sound. Sometimes I spend way too much time thinking about if a song is good enough. Does it reflect my musical competence? Is it vulnerable enough? My inner ear and my heart direct the show. I'm far from perfect in every feasible category, so I'll let this be my theme song. Not too complex, I'm a simple soul. Maybe it'll resonate with someone. Please won't you hear my theme song? Demons, they stalk me, but name a man where that's not the case. I've unraveled raisins, stumbled across a way better place. I've been the problem, I've been the issue. Music's been the only constant in my bigger picture, so I'll let this be my theme song. Not too complex, I'm a simple soul. Maybe it'll resonate with someone. Please won't you hear my theme song?
That's super cool.
You're super cool. Very happy to be here. What a great way to start my day.
Yeah, I love your style. It's like very dynamic where you're not stuck in one style of playing.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, like jumping between different things that really allow it to have that range.
Oh, and you've barely heard, unless, I mean, maybe from my channel, but like, I like to say that all my, most of my songs sound like they were written by a completely different person, like each individual. When people ask me like, what kind of genre or what kind of stuff does your band play? I say about half covers, half originals, and then, you know, the originals I would say range from like indie to hip hop. It's a pretty wide span, you know. And then the covers, I usually say they range from like Uncle Kracker to Rihanna is what I usually say, and that's the truth, you know. So that song at the songwriting festival, the dude was like, he gave me feedback, but he led with, I love it. I feel like I learned so much about you, and you're so playful. And like, it doesn't start out in a way that would make me think that you are, but you are. And then I was like, oh my God, you get me. like that's totally it. Like everything is like dramatic until it's not. Everything's dramatic, but also everything's a joke, you know? And like my biggest bops, like the songs that people tend to resonate with the hardest, make light of trauma, you know? In the same song where I say, my demons, they stalk me, but name a man where that's not the case. In that exact same song, every single time that I say the first two, hey, people giggle, the entire crowd. Like there's like an underlying giggle in the audience. And I'm like, I love that, you know what I mean? And that right there, it makes me feel like people get me a little bit, you know? And so I guess that's why I'm excited about music, is because I think I've really figured out like what's gonna keep me feeling at home with it, if that makes sense.
Staying at home is tricky with music.
Yeah, that the feeling at home, because it's not gonna be the genre, it's not gonna be the strum pattern or the style, right? It's gonna be how I tie fun to trauma, you know? And that should be the name of the game for everybody. It's finding that oneness, you know? It's all tied together. Don't act like the bad's not there. Don't do that, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that was a pretty good answer to your question.
That's great. Okay, so let's go back to the luthier thing, if you don't mind. That's super fascinating, because I'm friends with Chuck Moore down in Pune side. He built a couple ukuleles for me, and so I've been in the shop. I've seen a lot of the process. I've helped with some things, like here, sand this, kind of small stuff. And I've built a couple steel guitars, so like I'm familiar with the world a little bit, but the fact that you want to dive into a full-on apprenticeship is super fascinating.
Yeah. When I first got here, I had like all the time for it, you know. I was doing work trade I got to Hawaii in January of 2020. So right before the world shut down, and if I had found an apprenticeship right around then, that would obviously have been ideal. But you know, even without that, like we didn't really have like jobs or anything lined up. We came out here, we did work trade, and so like that was my plan, was to not have too much plan, so that if I stumbled across an apprenticeship, I was free, you know, and then I could plan work and other stuff around it, you know. Now I'm musicking a lot of the time, and you know, as long as I'm musicking, I don't feel like if I wasn't musicking and I also hadn't found, I don't know how many of your podcast guests use music as a verb, but if I wasn't musicking, and I also still hadn't found an apprenticeship, and I wasn't like doing anything in that realm right now, I think I would really feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, or not doing enough, you know what I mean? But I think it would still be cool, but like between music and then my other like main passion, and right now is the special needs community. I've been in it on and off for the past like I don't know, 10 years, give or take, a year or so. And I haven't I haven't worked my job in special needs since December because of my injury. I have a knee injury, but you know, you can still sit and stand. Well, I was actually only sitting for a really long time. I just recently started standing and playing, but it's not doesn't require like keeping up with an energetic child, you know, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, luthier. It seems so cool. I still have the full intention to do it at some point in life. It's not quite as urgent as it felt when I first got out here, but you know, if the ducks line up and I can do it, then I would do it. You know what I mean?
So do you have a background in woodworking?
Nope. Nope. I think it's cool, but not at all. Nope. And when I first started at my masonry job a few years ago, it was during the pandemic. I chose that job because it was outside and it was a very small team of people. It was a safer job to have, you know. And because it would keep me fit as opposed to sitting around the house all day like everybody was doing during the pandemic. But they didn't really have he was just hiring people to help them out and get them earning money. People that wanted to work, you know. He didn't really have much work for anybody to do. So he had the team just like building his house, kind of accessorizing his house on the outside and painting his front and back door, that kind of thing. And I have no idea what it was for to this day, but some dude handed me a plank of wood and was like, "Can you sand this? This is how you blank, blank, blank." And I was like, "I'll do my best." And when he came back, it was all like warped and stuff. And he just took it and was like, "Thanks." Did not do a good job. So that's about the extent of mine. But I do make it a point to like get good at anything that I really care about. I had joined a masonry team. You handed me a plank of wood. I wasn't really interested, to be honest. You know what I mean? When I'm not interested in something, I am not good at it. I don't know if that's a character flaw or what, you know, but I'm interested in luthiering, so it would be something that I become good at. If I dive in, I'm diving in. Yeah. That's cool that you've dabbled. I love that. Love that feat. A little jealous.
Yeah, well, the steel guitar is the place to start because it's just a 2x4 basically. 2x4 with a pickup. But yeah, I've always wanted to try building an ukulele. That seems like something that every ukulele player should do. But it's such, I don't know.
Furthermore, I would like to build my own 8-string bari uk. I've been looking for another. I feel like it'll probably just be good to have another one on hand.
Yeah, totally.
But at this point, every time that maybe I'm just looking wrong. Every time I try to look up an 8-string baritone ukulele, this one comes up. I met exactly one person in the past, since I bought this, and I've met plenty of musicians. I've met exactly one person that also has an 8-string baritone ukulele. It's this exact same one. So.
I have not heard of many options, but if I see anything, I will send it your way.
Oh, please, yeah. At this point, I'll probably have to like commission one, and then if I'm gonna do that, then I'd love to like be in the room. You know?
Yeah. No, it's so exciting to watch the process and even see a little bit of it. I got to see a little bit of my first ukulele from Chuck. He's like, "Well, let's start it right now," and banged out a lot of the basic stuff of cutting the top out and gluing the braces on, and just
Sick.
Like to see it was like, wow, it is magic.
Yeah, bananas, man. I do like I like the concept of things being built, So like in joining masonry, that wasn't a coincidence. I thought it was super cool to be. We mostly did rock walls. Actually, the rock wall that I live in the apartment complex. I'm about to tell everybody where I live. I live in the apartment complex right next to the post office, and at the end of in Waikoloa Village, and at the end of that apartment complex is a small rock wall that my team built.
Cool.
I built that wall. Isn't that super dope?
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how do you build a song? What is your approach to songwriting?
Wow, that's a connection I've never drawn before. You've done this before or something, huh? That's cool.
Well.
That's it. I don't know if there is an approach. Yeah, I just last night I was out jamming until like 3 a.m. There was an event. I mentioned yesterday I saw Kaya at an event, and that started at 4 or 5-ish, and then I was after it ended, me and some people went and kept jamming, and so from 4 or 5-ish to about 3 a.m. I was musicking nonstop pretty much, you know, and there's a lot of jamming, vocal, percussive, instrumental, and probably otherwise, honestly. And it was all so much fun. And what I was doing is I have this little bar that I came up with a while ago when I was writing CEO, which is a song I have that makes light of abandonment issues. You've heard it, yeah. That one you heard.
I've seen the title for sure, yeah.
And I came up with this line that I thought might fit, but it didn't fit. So I was like, I gotta use it somewhere else. And so it's just, raise a hand if you got 18 different origin stories and live life trying not to be the villain, right? And it just feels like something I would repeat and build with. And so last night when I was jamming, one of my better little segments of like having the stage, the proverbial stage, was I employed that line. And I thought, what else did I say? I was like, they call me the Joker, but I'm really a poker and prodder. I'll poke at your problems because that's how you solve them, right? And I said that a couple times, and then I went back to raise a hand if you got 18 different origins. I was, it rolls off the tongue nicely, and everybody's got at least 18. You know what I mean? Like, is that just me? It can't just be me. I feel like it's everybody. If you think it's less, there's probably some memories you've suppressed. Because, you know, trauma, our brain says two things about trauma. One of two things about serious trauma. Either you're gonna forget this because you can't handle it, right? And then it's just gone, right? Or it says you're never gonna forget this. And then you have PTSD and you replay it, you know, throughout your life. And it's, yeah, those are the two options, I feel like.
So when you say jamming, you're like completely freestyling, making everything up as you go?
So last night, I can't freestyle instrumentally and vocally at the same time. So at the points where I was on the cajon or on my instrument, then I wasn't doing anything vocal. By that point of the night, for the last hour or so of the night, we were just finding beats on YouTube and freestyling completely. And yeah, so that's for that specific last bar that I was just talking about. That was the vibe. We were just jamming to random beats on YouTube.
Cool. I ask because a lot of my listeners are very Western professionals. Typically, you know, they've lived their entire life like by the rules, and the idea of just like coming up with something is completely foreign. Yeah. Something they've never even thought to try, and like, oh, I'm not a musician. I can't do that. And then, you know, it's such a polar opposite from an experience like that.
I think I am antinomous to a lot of people's approach to music. I have my music degree. It's not just it's a degree in music composition. Okay. So if you put me in front of a piano and say, make me a Neapolitan chord in the key of F sharp minor, give me maybe 10 minutes, because I don't think that way often, honestly. But I could figure that out, you know. But I don't think that way, like in terms of, aside from like the basics, I don't think that way in terms of like chords and song format and compositional construction when it comes to how I approach the ukulele. And I think that it helps me to stay as unique as I am, if that makes sense. Like when I have to, so like the other day, I don't know why I did, but I felt like I needed to know what a specific chord that I was playing was. And so I was like, okay, that's a D, and that's on the G string, and it's on the 2nd fret, so that's, you know what I mean? And I built it, and I was like, I think it's a B minor. And so when I look up chords, I look up guitar chords and just pay attention to the bottom 4, right? And so I looked up B minor on guitar, and I was like, I was right, yay! You know, like, and so like, actually, I'll just be rambling.
You're good. This is
I hope
awesome.
you don't get tired of me, man.
No,
like
that's
great. It doesn't come in handy for how it comes like the fact that I'm able to do it. Like if I need to sit down and figure out, I totally can, you know? Especially if I'm like alone and there's no pressure and yada yada. But the compositional areas of expertise that I feel like I have, they will come in handy more in different. This is just like the beginning. This is just, I want to do like as much as I can in music. Like if I can, you know, get this music out there, end up in a couple of commercials, but also be like a background singer for 2 years, and then also write like a musical, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to do it all. So the musical thing, when the guy that I showed this to, he said that it sounds like it could be in a musical. That was one of the first things he said about it after he kind of laid on the phrase, which was so sweet. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that at some point too, because like being at the festival, it really like expanded my like breadth of like reachable possibilities. You know what I mean? And but it's also like you got to focus on what you're focusing on. And he was the first of the mentors that I spoke to be like, yeah, you can do that, but you got to focus on something right now. And I was like, yeah, because it's fun, which is funny because when I'm going into it, that's where I already was. And so like I went into the festival, I got expanded, and then I got brought back to like focus on this right now though. You know what I mean? Because once I matter a little bit in this area, it'll be easier to transition into the next. That's kind of, you know, I wrote a what do you call it? Blog.
Okay.
I wrote a blog post. I didn't like have a blog, but for a music business class that I took in college, I had to do a blog entry, and it just had to do with music business, anything I wanted. And so what I said was breaking into music from the side, right? And so then I mentioned Childish Gambino, right? You know.
I'm familiar. I don't know the music super well, but.
Oh, you don't have to. Just he started in this sitcom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where he's kind of just, you know, cool, young, hip dude, nerdy also, you know, just, and rapping isn't really, he's not a rapper in the show, you know, but when he started doing that, everybody was like, oh, you know, I don't know the chronology of like Childish Gambino and Drake, but very similar situation, you know. And, you know, this isn't quite as from the side, right? Because I'm already musicking, but like, I do feel like once you have a bit of prominence in literally any area, it's easier to, so like in my work with the special needs community, like sooner or later, that community and my music community are gonna merge. And I don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest. I compartmentalize not nearly as much as I used to, but I still go by my government name in the workplace. And like, you don't even know what my government name is. Pretty much nobody outside of work does. And so like when those worlds like completely merge, it's gonna be, I think, most world rumbling for me, you know. But you know, like if I made big change, or if I started this or led this kind of like movement in the special needs community, which, make no mistake, there need to be a movement in special needs on Big Island, in mental health care and in autism. But if I did something big with that, it would be easier to become prominent in whatever other music area that I feel like. And I feel like it's not just a music thing, you know? I feel like that's just a life thing. If you do good in this area, people are more willing to listen to you in that area, you know? Speaking of jamming, if you like to do a little jam sesh at some point, I'd be totally open to that.
Yeah,
I'm you
have
down. Your instrument too. It's green.
It is green. It lives in my car at all times.
There you go.
Sounds like a 5-gallon drum, but I've never managed to break it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of like tapping on it, like percussively when you're playing?
Not really. That was my roommate's bag in college. He had something. He actually has one of these too, and he likes it because it's like dome, dome, dome.
Yeah, it sounds like a tom drum.
Yeah. He'd always do like, you know, like reggae fills on the top and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But so you have a pretty diverse musical background, it sounds like, as far as influences and, you know, hip hop and, you know, R&B, and you come kind of from that world. What have you experienced being here in Hawaii as far as the local music culture? How is that?
It's super cool. It's super cool. Pretty much every song that I've written on ukulele, I wrote after I got out here, because I didn't get an instrument. I just like walked into a shop one day. We pulled up to the music shop. I told my girlfriend, we're gonna splurge on this, okay? But I'm a fast shopper, so I just walked in, and I was back out in like 20 minutes with a brand new instrument and this capo. And every time someone sees this instrument or even this silly little capo, they're like amazed. And I'm like, wow, that was a good choice I made in a quick 20-minute, you know,
That's
on the fly.
Awesome.
And oh no, I got distracted. What was your question, bro?
Musical influence here in Hawaii.
So I really started writing the first time I got COVID. I didn't really have a voice, and you know, not having a voice made me want to sing, of course. But I want to say my first 5 songs don't sound at all like they were written in Hawaii. Within my next 5, there's a couple that are obviously, one is called Sleeping Grass, which I learned about here, and one is called Calamansi Coconut, you know, and it's really, it's just like, I like to expose myself and open myself fully to whatever other cultures have to offer. And I try to do it in a way where I don't lose myself, obviously. I think that's the key to exposing yourself to other cultures and things. You gotta have some sort of foundation, you know? But at the same time, you gotta come in as a blank slate. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah, and so when I remember when I wrote Sleeping Grass, I came up with this one little piece where I go, I've been struggling, hustling just to get by. And I came up with that because work was just a bit of a nightmare, you know? But I was like, that feels like it has the potential to be islandy. And I was like, this will be my first song. This was like a conscious decision where I was like, this will be my first song that I will let sound like I was in Hawaii when I wrote it. Or like I had some exposure to Hawaii when I wrote it. you know? And so in the first verse, I talk about wandering around from snow-capped mountains to the caps of the sea. I don't know anywhere else besides Big Island that you can do that in the literal same day, you know? And then in the second verse, we talk about wandering around from do not enter signs to lost memories. And, you know, but for the record, if it says do not enter, don't go. But, you know, that's just the exploration that comes with being specifically on this island. There's so much space. There's so much to explore, you know. And I think that, you know, just being out and this lovely, beautiful thing, I just recently named her. Her name is Valerie. It does. I still don't feel like it comes naturally to me. If it seems like it does when I perform, it's because I've practiced those songs or I wrote those songs, you know. But like even just like my strum patterns, I'll be out and I'll see somebody do a thing and I'll be like, "That's cool. I'm gonna use that." You know what I mean? And yeah, just the wholesomeness, I feel like, has edged into my music. There's a general wholesomeness. Not to, I feel like it would be too much of an umbrella statement to say to Hawaiian music, you know? 'Cause yeah, Hawaiian music, it's that itself is an umbrella term, right? But you know what? Like to more traditional Hawaiian music, there is a wholesomeness to it, you know? And to a lot of not just the music, but just the general energy of the island, there is a wholesomeness to it that I feel like has been edging its way into my music. And if you don't hear it in the kids chasing chickens, if you don't hear it in the like tonality or in the composition of it, then you'll probably hear it in the lyrics or in the like attitude of it, if that makes sense. So those are the ways in which I would say that it's had because like, you know, part of the reason that I'm happy to expose myself so fully to other cultures is because it's gonna find a way into my music, you know.
So you're managing to stay pretty busy, it looks like, as far as gigs and stuff.
Yeah, it's, you know, when I stopped working I just went back to one of my jobs recently, and I'm not doing the physical. They put me in the office because I can't be running up and down hills and carrying heavy things anymore. But the music gigs, I've had more time to like focus on making the connections and go out and gig and yeah, I've got if anybody listening around here wants to check out my YouTube channel, you can find my business card on my channel page, and you can reach out to me that way and I can put you on my email list. I'm not really on the interwebs aside from YouTube. I just don't have the capacity or the interest, and as we mentioned, if I'm not interested, I'm not gonna be good at it. It can be a character flaw. But yeah, my email list is up to like 50 people or something. It's so interesting. Everybody that hears me loves what I do, you know, all ages. It's usually like, you know, honestly, the slightly more raunchy songs that like 5-year-olds will be just jamming out. Like, and their parents are just like, "You go, Timothy," or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and then the oldest people in the room are sitting there eating their sandwiches, bobbing their heads, you know what I mean? To like the rap music. But yeah, it's been a little hard to get like a following that'll like actually show up. Shout out to Chrissy and shout out to Katrina. They try harder than pretty much anyone to show up consistently, and they will have my whole heart for the rest of forever for that. I don't know what kind of impression that was, but yeah, I gig pretty often. I'd say every time I send out an email on the email list, there's an average of 6 coming up within the next month.
That's great. That's great. I find that to be just about right.
Yeah, I'm happy with it, and hopefully, they're increasingly more of them are paid.
Cool. Good for you.
Yeah, I did pretty good at Gills Lanai for the first time this past weekend.
Awesome. It's a killer spot.
It was a great
We
spot.
love playing up there.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
And the food's awesome.
I got I don't remember what it was called, but it was just, fish on salad, basically. And
Fresh catch bowl. That's what I get every time.
Yes.
It's the best.
So good.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, you want to jam something?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, what you feeling?
I'm feeling like you play some chords, and then I sing, and then when you feel like it, you jump in and sing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how we do it, people.
Yeah.
No notes, nothing written down.
Hey. I've been thinking about taking lessons. Yeah. I've been thinking about taking lessons. Yeah. Ooh. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Thinking about taking lessons, 'cause I'm not that good on my instruments. Yeah, it's important to know what we need to work on. Yeah, it's important to know what we need to work on. Yeah, I'm doing just fine. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep doing just fine. Yeah, but I wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I wanna be great. Oh, oh, do 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 yeah, I'ma do what I do. Cause I stay true to myself. True to myself. I mean, what else is there to be true to? What else is there to be true to but you? True to but you. I said, what else is there to be true to? What else is there to be true to but you? True to but you. want to peel back the mango and morph into its core to be just underneath all of that sweet, sweet, sweet goodness, yeah. Peel back the core, peel back the skin, and morph into the core. So I'm always attached to the sweet, sweet goodness, yeah. The goodness, yeah. The goodness, yeah. The goodness, yeah. You know, something I've never experienced anywhere but here is how people favor their mangoes, how people favor their mangoes. Each culture and each person on the block's got a mango tree. Specific to them, specific to them, specific to them. They swear it's the best, yeah, yeah. They swear it's the best, yeah, 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 yeah. They swear it's the best. They swear it's the sweetest. Swear it's the best. They swear it's the sweetest. Have you experienced that? Have you experienced that? Tell me about it. Go.
I'm not much of a vocal improviser.
Okay. Just speak then. Just speak.
Now I have to multitask.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's okay to have trouble multitasking. We all do it and we just act like we don't.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion for sure. Yeah, when you're doing more things than you're supposed to, you're not as good.
Yeah.
You're not
I
as
have
good.
very little bandwidth in my head.
I feel you, man. I feel you. And that's not to say that you're not supposed to be doing more than one thing at once. But if you are doing more than what you're supposed to be doing, so like when I have something on my plate that I don't like, that I don't enjoy, then I'm worse at everything. But when I have everything on my plate and I enjoy it all, I'm great at it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you for that. That was lovely.
Oh, yeah.
High five. Lightly, because mics or whatever.
Make all the noise we want. Yeah, you have a feel for like improvising vocals when you get out your ukulele. Like, you just freestyle stuff if you can have them separate.
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually the whole reason. It's half the reason I got a loop pedal. The other half is I have carpal tunnel. So like all the cool things that other people do with loop pedals, I'll get there, but my focus right now is just to have to use my wrists less and to have to use those two parts of my brain less. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have these two jam sessions, solo jam sessions on my YouTube channel. One is called Blackberry Jam Sesh, and one is called Bowl of Fruit Jam Sesh. And yeah, you see me start the loop with my amp, and then I play it, and then I put the instrument down, and then I sit down and I sing, and it's just me in a room. And I really like those clips, yeah. One I wrote when I was in, some turmoil with the person that I recently broke up with, and you can feel it. If you go listen to those two, there will be no question which one I'm talking about. And the other one, you will walk away from it wanting to be a bowl of fruit. And if you never thought you'd want to be one, go listen to that jam session. I talk about how it's balanced and beautiful. There's a reason that artists will sit there and happily paint a bowl of fruit. There's a balanced beauty to it, yeah. I've been thinking over the past, couple months maybe, about how beauty drives literally everything. Everything that we do, it's because we want to put more beauty into the world, or we want to reach a more beautiful place in our lives, or we have a beautiful person who encourages us, or, you know what I mean? Beauty drives everything. And I think that remembering that could stop wars.
Yeah, because when you look at it from that lens, just like, you don't actually change what you're doing, but that lens by itself changes the whole tone of everything.
Of everything.
Yeah.
There were, I think, three at the music event I was at yesterday. 3 different artists who had the word love as part of their name. And I was like, yeah, man, let's get some more artists. See, there was one who their whole name was just love, and that made me think about. This is off topic, but the TV show You.
Okay, I don't think I've
You don't
seen
know
that
it.
one.
Well, Love is she's a nut job, and she kills people and then she gets killed. Oh, that's a spoiler.
Minor spoiler.
Anyways, but yeah, I was like, that's kind of she's kind of a badass to be associated with. That person probably doesn't even watch the show, but yeah, like Love is such a really, I think, a great name to take on as a music artist, for sure. You know, that's what it should be about. And if it's not about it in an obvious way, then it's about it in a not obvious way. You know what I mean? And people always, I'm always perplexed by when people say, oh yeah, I had this dude I knew who just listened to bad music. I'm always like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What's bad music to you?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, what do you, like, are you talking about, did they listen to Screamo? Did they listen to hard rap music? Because people, depending on what context you meet me in, you have no idea what I'm into. That's, you know, so people will think, I can confide in this person. No matter what context you meet me in, you think you can confide in me. That tends to be how it goes, both of those things. I'm a Scorpio, by the way. And then they usually start to like close up a little bit, and then they don't want to say what genre that they were talking about. And it's like, you know, so like I don't know too much about Screamo. I do listen, there's this group I like, they do Screamo covers of pop music. They're called Ocean's 8 Alaska. Anyways, but obviously I listen to more rap, you know. And you know, what you see as like putting bad into the world is probably just a form of escapism, because their world historically hasn't been great. There's a lot to escape. And if you don't resonate with that, maybe you don't have the same things to escape. You know what I mean? And then, you know, the way that the music industry is built, there are many, we're pulling away from, and I'm very happy to say that, we're pulling away from, you know, having to be built a certain way in the industry in order to find success, right? And so, like, if you're a hip hop artist, right, we're pulling away from it having to be about A, B, and C that are perceived as bad blanketedly. You know what I mean? But even if you had to do that, regardless of what you wanted to write about, because the label made you do this and that and the third, you know, you're probably taking that money and putting it back into the community. It's all love. It's all love. No matter, you know, that's what it should be anyway. And, you know, music that does preach hate, I don't even know if it's music. I'm gonna be honest. It's, you know, you can, if you hating the hate, that I get. If you hate the hate, that I get. But like, that's, if I had to put a description on what bad music is, first of all, I would struggle, but it would probably be something in that realm. Like, it preaches hate. It should be about love. It should be about love, you know. If you don't see it as love, dig a little deeper. It's probably love under the surface. Somewhere. You know, coming from somewhere, going somewhere. is love, you know. Music is a labor of love. You don't do it because it's not as surefire a route as like going to school for certain things that you know will end up in a career that will be monetarily rewarding, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And believing, having the faith makes all the difference. Makes a really big difference in whether you do find that success. But then it's also a matter of like, what do you define as success?
That's a big part of it too.
Yeah, a couple of the mentors said to me, just get your music people need to hear you. Play as much as you can, play out as much as you can. And that was a good thing to hear, because I'm in a place where I'm trying to play paid gigs, you know, because I need to earn money to survive, you know. Hashtag starving artist. I'm not starving, for the record, but there's a balance to be struck there. There's a balance to be struck.
Yeah, it's tricky. I remember vividly when I was young, there was a dude who used to jam at it was like the local Kanikapila circle. Everybody got together and played Hawaiian music, and he was the best player there. And he came over to the house one day, and just to kind of show me some stuff, give me some tips. You know, this is when I was like 13 or whatever. And he's like, you know, some of my friends, they get, you know, they're good musicians, but they've gotten to the point where they only play for money. It's like, no, I don't want to play. But then if somebody's like, oh, we'll pay you, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll play. And I always think back to that, because it's a double-sided coin. And this is probably way off in the weeds for most listeners, but I think for us here on the island, it's something to think about. Because you have two sides of the coin. One is that music is beautiful and important, and we should always try and share it as best we can, regardless of who has the funds to hire us. And supporting ourselves as skilled tradespeople who have, you know, put a lot of time into perfecting the craft and writing songs, and that
there's layers to it.
And, you know, like, we need to be supported too.
Yeah.
So it's
like within ourselves, we need to maintain that desire to do it without a paycheck. But without ourselves, we need to push the narrative that musicians should be paid.
It's a really good way to put it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, why are there these venues that could definitely afford to just pay the band $100, even just $100,
even just $50, just like make the effort.
Yeah, and you pull in enough people, you can, you know. You don't. I ain't gonna say the venue.
I know the venue.
But I recently, because you on my email list.
I know the venue. I played at the venue, and I finally said, I'm not playing at the venue.
You know, and I've met a number of people who've done that, but then like one of my biggest supporters, probably my biggest supporter on the island, Patrina, she was like, you know, I was thinking about going out, and I hadn't left yet, and I'm glad I hadn't. For context, for the listeners, I had a gig recently that it was scheduled like a month and a half in advance, and then I realized that it overlapped with the Hawaii Songwriting Festival. It was on the 31st originally, and so just a few days after booking it, I hit up the booker and I was like, hey, so this overlaps, can we change it to this date? He didn't respond for like a week. I hit him up, I called him, I reached out to somebody else at the venue, and I was like, can we change it? Did you get my message? Can we, you know, I've tried emailing you, texting you, can we change it to this date? And then he was like, yeah. So at that point, it was still over a month before the date we were supposed to play. So I show up on the day I'm supposed to play with my band, and he never changed it. So the other dude that was supposed to be playing, and I walked in and I had my instrument and my guys, and they were like, oh my God, you're playing to, like, the staff, because I had played there once before, and the staff was like, oh my God, you're playing tonight? I feel like if people knew, they would be like, a ton of people coming out tonight. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm playing tonight. I had no idea that there was any conflict. Now I know to reach out and confirm with people. I hadn't thought ever to do it in that direction. When I'm showing up to like a new open mic or an open mic I don't go to often, open mic dates and things are changing all the time. So that I always call ahead to see if that's going on. But for a gig where I was booked and I'm the main event, yeah. And so this place, for context, listeners, was over an hour away from my home. Over an hour away from all the performers' homes. And, you know, they fed us, and the staff that was on site, they seemed very remorseful. And I wasn't mad at them. It wasn't their fault. And, you know, I texted the guy, and he said sorry. Did he seem like he understood the weight of how problematic that was? No. Humans make mistakes. I have no problem with humans making mistakes. Right. But I don't think he and they don't pay. I was driving. That's the rough. Furthest I drive for any gig.
That's rough.
And they don't pay. And so, you know, my buddy Pacino was asking me recently, when are you going back? And I'm like, I don't know that I want to go back. We shall see. Yeah. It would be great if they could start, you know, paying the musicians that deserve to be paid.
Well, yeah, and there's...
Or at least if you can't pay, because, you know, I could understand, from the business perspective, there's a lot to consider. I've never owned a business, you know. There's a lot to consider. But at least value, make sure they know their value.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me, is there's lots of ways to be paid. I mean, obviously, cold hard cash pays the bills, but there are other ways to add value for musicians to show up, and like you said, the value thing.
I have a lovely relationship with KO Pizza up in Javi.
Cool.
I play there, I want to say once or twice a month. And they feed me. They have amazing pizza, bro. I'll just hit up Kelly and be like, hey, can I play on this day? And if there's someone playing that day, she'll be like, no, but you can play on this day. And it's beautiful. I always get pizza out of it. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. It's a fun spot. Me and Nana love the pizza there. And, you know, they don't care if it's just me or if it's 4 or 5 of them. You know, they're happy to have us. And, you know, it's a mutual respect. I feel valued there, you know what I mean? They're a smaller business, and it's chill, you know?
Yeah. If you want to hire musicians, you got to make it valuable, even if you don't have the cash.
Yeah. They put in a good word for me at Gills.
That's cool.
You know?
That's
Gills and Waimea Coffee, where I also play. I play Waimea Coffee, I think, 2 times in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And, you know, so Waimea and Gills and Kohala Coffee, I believe, are all owned by the same people. And so hopefully the next spot is Kohala Coffee, right? And, you know, the kind of, there are ways to pay. There are ways to make sure that they know that they're valued, and to add value to their career if you can't afford, you know, to cut a check or what have you. Do you want to hear 1 or 2 more songs?
I would, if you're up for it. I would kind of like to hear one that features rapping, if you have anything along those lines.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Because
it's not gonna stay
whatever your interpretation of that is.
Censored.
That's all good. We'll put the little red box next to it, and off we go.
I think I just met the most magical person that I've ever met, but I know I'm not in a place to love her. It Hypocrisy dwells in my soul. I've been hoeing it, loving it. Why did I meet her right now? Oh, Jesus, what are you trying to tell me? This bitch got me writing soft shit. Fuck, I look like out here writing soft shit. Cussing as a means of compensation. I'm not usually on some hard shit. I be on some me shit. I'm just saying that she got me on one. Only met her once. One time for the one time. That's all that it took to get my heart crying. I've been throwing my feelings right where the breeze is. I ain't had a time for all that bullshit. But if it's her that I'm involved with, well, then I guess I might really be about that bullshit. And she might not be feeling me like I'm feeling her. Her ass done left the island. Boy, I'm wildin'. Yeah, she probably ain't feeling me like I'm feeling her. Her ass done left the island. And my broke ass is wildin'. My broke ass is wildin'. I think I just met the most magical person that I've ever met. But I know I'm not in a place to love her. Hypocrisy dwells in my soul. I've been hoeing and loving it. Why'd I meet her right now? Oh, Jesus, what are you trying to tell me? Yeah, this shawty got me thinking about if she been thinking about me at all. Who am I kidding? Of course she has been. I mean, have you met me? She's probably in withdrawal. You can call that wishful thinking or manifestation. You call it what you want. But it's how your girl been coping, wishing and hoping that shorty's gonna fall like I have. Like I think I just met the most magical person that I've ever met. But I know I'm not in a place to love her. Hypocrisy dwells in my soul. I've been knowing it, loving it. Why did I meet her right now? Jesus, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? Sorry for the out of tuneness.
Oh, it sounds great.
Thanks. Yeah, it's called Chips at Night. I wrote it.
Yeah, I love the hook.
Thanks.
The hook,
yeah.
The hook's really dynamic and cool. Where does your singing background come from? Like we've talked about ukulele.
I was mostly told not to sing.
What?
Yeah, not by my family. My mom's always been a supporter of my pursuit of music, which makes sense. My big brother's an animator. We're artists. And then my other brother had some, he had some artistic genes too. He hadn't fully tapped into them yet by the time he passed. He passed in 2020. But yeah, and then my mom likes to write. We're artists, yeah. So if the discouragement wasn't from my family by any means, it was from through school. So my high school had just an insane amount of talent. Not an art school, not a private school, just a regular public school. So much, the dumb amount of talent. And so most people that I talk to can't relate, but we had honors music classes.
Cool.
So I was in honors orchestra through to the end of high school, and I don't play that instrument anymore. I was raised on viola. And then honors, I never made it into honors chorus, or select chorale is what it was called. And I believe that the reason was that my voice didn't blend well. And so like, you know, only in the past, I would say like literally 6 months, I'm now 28 years old. Only in the past like 6 months did I start to realize, you know, people are always telling me that my voice is so unique. Like, it probably just wasn't really meant to blend like that, you know? And I remember every time I tried out for select chorale, people were surprised that I didn't make it because they knew that I, you know, there were things I could do with my voice that other people couldn't. I have a pretty high range. I was a soprano one. If there was somebody, if they needed like a single person to hit a high, loud note for a performance, it was me. And then in college, I spent a chunk of my time dating a voice major who fully discouraged me from singing my own songs. And it's in both cases, for the record, it's not like I took it personal. Not everybody, you know, if you don't have the muscle to sing, then you'd have to like really dedicate yourself. And the way I feel about like purpose in general, right? If you love to do it, but you're not great at it, maybe you're meant to do it, maybe you're not, because you can get great at it. If you don't love to do it, but you're great at it, maybe you're meant to do it, maybe you're not, because you can develop the love for it. But if you love to do it and you're great at it, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the home run, you know? That's all the bases. And so I was just like, if I'm not meant to, if I don't have the muscle naturally, maybe I'm not meant to, whatever. You know, it wasn't that big a deal. I didn't take it personally, and so I just didn't really focus on singing too much. It really wasn't until like the end of college that I started exploring the possibility of like singing my own stuff. I got my first like paid gig in college. I had someone play for me. Maddie Walsh, hope she's doing okay. I had someone play for me, and I sang a bunch of original music, most of which you wouldn't hear today. Just because I'm in a different place. You know what music is like you just don't identify with it anymore. There's one from back in the day that I'll still play because it's a crowd favorite, and I was in like a really good place in my life, and I don't want to forget being in that good place. It was my healthiest relationship. But yeah, I was told not to sing for most of my musical upbringing, yeah. For most of my foundational music years, I was discouraged from singing. I was still in vocal ensembles, but like I didn't think there was anything special by any means, and now I certainly think that there is, you know. And it wasn't really a matter of like confidence. It's just a matter of it's just like I don't know how to do a backflip. It doesn't hurt my feelings that I don't know how to do a backflip. Right. You know what I mean? It was like that. I wasn't worried about it. It just wasn't a thing. But turns out it's a bit of a thing, you know?
Well, I'm glad you finally got there and you're able to share your music in that way because it sounds great and it's super original and unique and yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the progress I've made in the Department of Musicianship.
Since school.
Yeah. Since
which piece of musicianship?
Coming into my improvisational identity. That's a big piece, right? Being able to like, people jam in different ways, you know? What you just did, I've never jammed with somebody who That's I've never had this exact experience because you did. You were doing a lot, and sometimes I didn't know where it was going, and I was like, "Ooh, this is fun. He keeping me on my toes." You know what I mean? But when you can put like aside the differences in how you approach jamming or how you approach music, and come together to just make music, that's where the beauty comes in, and the beauty is what it's supposed to be for. You know, and I wasn't able to like just sit down and jam with any given musician as easily as I am today. Like even a year ago today, I would say that I would have struggled a lot more. I my skills on the instrument are moderate. They're good enough to get me gigs and to get people listening and saying, "Wow, you're great," you know. But they've come a long way. You know, for me, it's a very long way. And I think that there's a lot of progress further that could be made, but I'm happy with the progress that has been made as well. My harmonies, I'm pretty good at like by the I don't know, by the 10th bar of any given song, harmonizing with whatever's going on, even if it's rap. And that's something I'm pretty happy with my development in that area. It does help that me and my roommate will karaoke into the late eve. Nobody lives underneath us. And let's see, what other areas of musicianship? I've gotten a bit, you know, last night there was this dude, shoot, what's his name? I got his number. Such a goat. There was a lot of amazing musicians last night, but he's so outrageously talented. The man can pick up any instrument and play it. Very big name out here. So it's sad that I can't remember. But he said that he loved what I was doing on the cajon, and coming from him, that just meant so much. Because sometimes I really struggle I have a cajon, I like co-own it technically. It's hers low-key, but I co-own it with my percussionist, my roommate, my best friend. And you know, I brought it just to mess around with his late night jam sessions, and to hear from him that he loved what I was doing with it, I was like, okay, I'm making moves. You know what I mean? So like in all the areas that I personally participate in as far as music goes, I am happy with the development that I have made in those musicianship areas.
Oh, good for you. It can be a frustrating journey at times, and it's nice to be in a place where you can look back and appreciate the progress.
Yeah. We're our own worst critics, right?
Totally.
Like, I spend way more time talking about how much work that I need on playing my instrument than anybody else does. And I know that's not, even behind closed doors, I know that that's 100% true. It's me, you know? Yeah. Do you want to hear one more?
Yeah, let's leave us with one more song, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm digging this.
This last one was written here in town, around the corner. Depending on which way you walk, I would say less than a block away.
Bring on this one.
Oh. Oh, I knew I had work to do. Yeah, I knew I had some work to do. But I've got real work to do. Yeah, I've got real work to do on me. Yeah, I knew I had some work to do, but I've got real work to do. Yeah, I've got real work to do on me. Yeah, I don't wanna be a self-important wave among the waves. I don't wanna be an addict in denial of what I crave. There's a whole lot of shit of which my soul is in need. Is it a juvenile thing to wish that one day soon you'll see? Shorty, baby, I'm a beautiful soul. I like to make folk feel special. It's a godly pursuit. And if I'm honest, it's also an ego boost. But if you know how I came up, you know I'm more than due. My explanations ain't excuses, baby. I just wanna know you know me through and through, baby. Ooh. But even more than that, I need, baby, for your body, soul, and mind to all agree, baby, on me. Agree, baby, on me. I know it's selfish to sing about me, but I want all of your focus on me. And I want all of your loving on me. Oh, I knew I had work to do. Yeah, I knew I had some work to do, but I got real work to do, work to do. Yeah, I got real work to do on me. Yeah, I just wanna be your source of joy, your catalyst for change. And I need to take an inventory of all my thoughtless ways. There's a spiritual density in the way we operate. There's a mystic duality that I don't want to escape. Shout it, baby, you're a beautiful soul. I see it more and more with each and every phase of the moon. And if I'm honest, it's also a reason to spend my days better in me so that I deserve you. The heart has got a million uses, baby, but without your man, it's mommy feeling useless, baby. Ooh, I usually tuck and roll with deuces, baby, but I want this to be different. We could do this, baby, trust me. Yeah, we can do this, baby, trust me. You can bet on me. Rest your stress on me. And put your pretty little head on me. called work to do.
I dig it. Yeah. I was even watching your right hand doing like finger alternating bass with your index finger.
You noticed.
So your thumb can do the down chank on. That's cool. I've never seen anybody play like that before, but it's like a real subtle, nice little pulse touch.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Well, I'm gonna have to look back at a video of me playing this and figure out what the heck you talking about.
Don't think too hard about it.
I won't.
Everybody always asks me like, "Whoa, what are you doing right there? That's not what you said. What are you doing?" I don't know. Do what I say, not what I do. Well, thanks so much, Dizzi. This was great.
Indeed.
Nice to get to know you a little bit and hear some music and.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was so much fun.
What's the best way for people to stay in touch and look up your music?
If you want to actually reach out to me, as I mentioned on my YouTube channel page, it's my business card, and you can click that and reach out to me directly that way. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. I think I deserve more than like 70 subscribers, which is all I've got. Yeah, I'm always posting videos of fun stuff. That jam session I'm talking about from last night, by the time that this gets posted, I'm sure there's going to be at least 2 videos up from that jam sesh. Yeah. And I've got originals and covers on there. I've got full band. I've got just me. I try to keep it versatile. I try to make it so that you're, overall, at least so far, I've been posting every other day for the past like 2 months. I've been like really on this, like I'm dedicated to posting wave. And it's fun, so that helps. But I'm trying to make it so that you're not just seeing that I can play, all right, that you're also like learning me. So I don't just have like gigs posted, I also have like solo jam sessions posted, or like me just messing around with some friends posted, that kind of thing. So like legit stuff and then chill stuff. And if you listen to the words, to like all the words in my original compositions, honestly, if you like really listen to them, you'll know me better than like most people in my life. I saw and appreciated how intently you were listening to that just now, and I'm a little uncomfortable with it, Brad. I'll tell you what. But yeah, that was my most vulnerable. I actually didn't play that last song for, I would say like 6 months to a year after I wrote it, not out anywhere. I was just like, it's too vulnerable. People don't want to know all that.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's one of my
now
favorites.
I'm over it. It doesn't matter how vulnerable something is. I'm like, are you kidding me? I wasted 6 months of that beautiful song being written, not playing it out. Like that bridge has been crossed, and I'm not going back. As soon as I write something, as soon as I got it down, I'm ready to play it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming out.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course.
You're super cool. I appreciate your presence. Thank you, listeners, for supporting this lovely man. Yeah. And I would appreciate you, finding my stuff online and finding a way to support me. And if you listen to this dude on a regular basis, you're probably a beautiful human yourself. So just keep being beautiful, and as long as you're doing that, then you're putting beauty into the world, baby. You feel me? Yeah. I like that. Bars.
That is the music and words of Dizzi Diamond. You can look Dizzi up on YouTube. Be sure to spell Dizzi, D-I-Z-Z-I. And then Diamond is just as you would expect. She should come right up. Give a follow, give a subscribe, give a like to support some highly original ukulele music and songwriting. Once again, my name is Brad Bordessa. I'll catch you in the next episode. The Live Ukulele podcast is published on the 1st and 3rd Saturdays of every month, with a break in November and December. Wrapping up here, getting towards the end of our season for 2025. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, create some beautiful music and jam your ukulele loud and proud. Catch you next time. Thanks for being here. Ahui ho.